right. Welcome to yet another podcast of my, I was going to say envisionment, but that's definitely not a word. Of my design, I guess. This time it's about a franchise that I want to love, and that I'm pretty sure I like.
Ah, yes, the Showa era Godzilla and nothing else.
Nothing else. I did spend a lot of money on it, but, yeah, so... basically the idea is I'm going to use this to force myself to watch every Godzilla movie.
And me as well.
Well, hey, you've watched more than I have, so it won't be... Well, I guess... I don't know how much of it will be Discovery for you. A lot of it will be for
I
me.
mean, the entire Showa era will be new.
Alright.
Everything past, say, I want to say Biollante is the earliest one I've seen. Save for Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that one in a couple weeks here. That's like number 3. It's probably on disc 2. Yeah, it's after Godzilla raids again.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so, I guess, since this is the first one, I guess I'll have to put in a little bit extra, more than I wanted to. But, my exposure to Godzilla started with the 98 film.
Yes.
Yeah, and you wonder why I'm even a fan of Godzilla. Well, the fun part is that when you start at shit, it's only uphill from there.
I don't know, I feel like there's some Showa era movies that are worse than Godzilla 98.
I don't know. I mean...
I think the Smog Monster one might be.
I
think that's a strong contender for the worst one.
We'll see. I'm interested to hear Godzilla save the Earth. So, as preposterous as that idea is, but yeah. So after kind of realizing over time, like originally, even when I saw it, I was like, I liked it because I was a kid and I didn't know any better, and I was a Jurassic Park fan, so like...
Well, there you go. It takes more from Jurassic Park than it does Godzilla, so...
Yeah.
There's your reasoning.
Yeah, but the resurgence, for lack of a better term, was when 2014 came out, and that movie just... It was like everything I had heard about Godzilla and everything that was awesome about it was just compacted into it, and it sort of just reawakened a love for everything that I heard about Godzilla but just didn't have access to. And now that I'm an adult, I can just buy shit. So
yes, like this. What was it? $230 collection.
No, well, with tax, I think that's how much it was. It was almost half off. So, and for what I paid for it, I got my money's worth. It's filled with awesome art and
maybe some decent Godzilla movies.
Oh, I was gonna say, art that probably surpasses a great deal of these movies, except for 1954, because that still stands currently as probably my... It kind of rattles around in my headspace because I love 2014 for being so... It's so much like grasps for 1954 Godzilla, with like how little you see him, and I feel like the payoff is better in 2014 than 1954. Just because, I mean, there's hype shit to pull from, whereas 1954, like, it's all new. But yeah, like 54 is up there as probably my favorite of what I've seen.
Okay.
So, I don't know. You can take it
from
here.
So I don't know what got me into Godzilla, to be honest.
Oh.
I think I just like giant monster fights, and well, that's mostly Godzilla after 54.
Literally, yeah.
Does Godzilla Raids again have? That's where Angus shows up, isn't it?
Yep.
So, yeah, I haven't seen any like the Showa stuff, save for Godzilla vs. King Kong or King Kong vs. Godzilla, whichever one that goes. I think it's King Kong versus. And I've seen the whole Heisei era and also the Millennium era, and they're all pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, if you're just here for the monster fights, they're pretty good, but if you're here for plot, then maybe not so much.
I don't think, unless you're talking about 54 or anything after 2014, you're not coming to a Godzilla movie for the plot.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And if you are, you're going to leave disappointed. Unless you can get behind the weird plots. Like, I read through synopses of each of them just because it came with this whole collection. So some of them try for things, and I feel like they were kind of reaching in their praise for some of them. But, you know, nothing quite like hitting a quote from one of the movies where the creator of Godzilla is like I didn't, like, literally after having watched it, going like, I didn't create Godzilla for this. Because Lord knows the Showa era gets silly.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very silly.
Yeah. But...
And then they rebooted the whole thing, and they're like, whatever. New era.
Nothing wrong with that.
Only 54 matters. Everything else after that, not so much.
Well, to be fair, I don't feel like anything else should matter. So yeah. So basically how this is going to work is we're going to watch the movie. We're going to do a little preamble before each one to talk about which one we're talking about, which obviously we'll have to be more clear on. And then we're going to rate them based on monster combat, which for 54 is going to be...
Oh, it's going to do great. We'll consider the helicopters and the army monsters.
There's airplanes, too.
Yeah, they're part of the army, right?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll consider those all monsters.
Anyway, visual effects, which will...
Oh, I can't wait for raids again.
We're gonna think about how we want to approach that, whether we want to be serious and try and put in its own time, or just honestly make fun of shit.
Oh, I'm gonna make fun of it because there's a shot in raids again that is literally just them with a Godzilla figure, and they just like pull the camera over it, and you can tell it's just like on a table.
Oh my god,
it's really good.
Oh lord. All right. Yeah, so, and then the plot and the acting, which will be separate from the dub. We will do the dub when we can, because I think dubbing over films is hysterical.
Yeah.
And then special mention will go to anything we feel like needs to be said. If something doesn't get I'm going to try and keep it so that anything that has bonus points, which can be plus or minus, will only be compared with other... It will only include those points when compared to other films that also got those points. Because there's going to be ones where we don't have a dub, and there may be so bland that there's nothing to say. So, just to keep it fair. So there will be... But we're going to rank every single one. Now, whether we take it seriously or not, I don't fucking know. But, yeah, so we're going to start off with 1954, which I love to death, but I have never seen the fucking dub.
Well, then, we're both in for a treat.
Mm-hmm. Because the original is an incredible, I would almost say a masterpiece of its time, and a fascinating commentary on nuclear war, which Japan knows firsthand, and it's a really wonderful film. And the dub just shits all over that.
Well, they had to make it approachable for people not in Japan.
No, literally just America. Because America's the ones who dropped the bomb anyway, so, they can't confront their own mistakes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, alright. Well, we'll join you guys later once we get this done.
Yeah, it's gonna be what, like an hour and a half?
It said on the disc, which I no longer have. So,
I think it's like an hour and a half. I don't think Godzilla movies aren't known for, their like 3-hour run times.
No, we're not gonna have a like it'll be reasonable. So.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll see you in a bit.
Yep. All right. So we finished 1954 Godzilla.
The Japanese version.
Yeah, because we couldn't figure out how the fuck to watch the dub. So, yeah.
It was a movie.
Yeah, it was. The special effects were ranging between semi-decent to hilarious.
Yeah, that's about right. There were some really good ones in there.
Oh Lord, that ship exploding will. They knew enough restraint to not keep using it, but it was still amazing.
Yeah, I know, it was great. It just blows up for no reason.
And then just sinks. Great.
Yeah, 5 seconds of being on screen and then just, well, whatever, it's gone now.
Oh my god. Yeah. So my main takeaways from getting to watch this with someone else is I forgot that Godzilla shows up as early as he does, and he looks like crap.
Yeah, he's not great.
He's got googly eyes.
Well, one of the Godzillas has googly eyes.
And the animatronic one that shoots out the steam sometimes, that
it's
one's
just devoid of eyes.
It's just there's no eyes there at all. It's a complete monster. And Dr. Serizawa cannot stop making oxygen destroyers.
Yeah, like that's the only thing he can do at this point for some reason.
He just keeps making more of it, and he just doesn't know what to do. It's like the guy who's like, oh, can't I hold all these limes? But for Serizawa, it's all the oxygen destroyers.
I think I said in the movie he's the King Midas of oxygen destroyers.
Pretty much
everything he touches.
It's pretty bad. I don't remember the names of any other characters.
There was one guy named Ogata.
I guess
he was the one who went scuba diving with Serizawa. And then Emiko was with Ogata for most of the movie.
And I guess they were engaged
or something,
or maybe I don't fucking know. It was very confusing, but yeah. So it was long. I mean, it wasn't that long.
It felt long.
Yeah, it felt long. There was a lot of
talking.
A lot of talking, and the plot felt like it kind of dragged its feet at points.
Much like Godzilla.
Yeah, pretty much. They definitely give him less chunky legs later, so he can more effectively fight. But yeah, so I thought he grabbed airplanes out of midair, but I guess they realized how absurd that was, so that didn't happen.
I was kind of thinking he'd at least like take one down.
Yeah, he barely just didn't give a shit. He was just like, fuck it, I was already leaving. And they couldn't hit him.
Yeah,
all the fireworks in the world.
It was great.
And all missed.
I really wish they could have like showed the shot from a different angle to show how far they were missing.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Because it's just that one static angle where it's just they're always behind him, but I don't know how far behind him they are.
I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, basically this Godzilla in this is he's a dinosaur.
A very angry one.
A dinosaur who absorbs radiation like a champ. So kind of like Godzilla from 2014, but Godzilla from 2014 actually feeds on radiation, as opposed to this one, which just seems to kind of soak it up like a sponge.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not like they could have established that lore yet or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's just a different take on the source material. But yeah. I don't even like. I remember reading that like they deal with the ship people like being radio like dealing with radiation sickness, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, it was just kind of like shots of them in the hospital, but I don't know if they were in the hospital for radiation poison or if it was, just regular, oh no, I've been stepped on by Godzilla.
Yeah. It was very weird. We witnessed some paintings that they were pretending were photographs.
Yeah, the one of Godzilla peeking its head over the
because it looked too good. It looked too good to be the suit that we saw. But yeah, they tried an electrified cage match, and Godzilla wasn't having any of that shit. He tried to take a bridge with him, but that didn't work out.
Yeah, it was a little too heavy, and I think Godzilla's arms are still a little too stubby for it. Yeah. So he just ended up flipping it and making the waters recede a little bit.
Pretty much. Yeah, so...
But speaking of the cage match, there was the one special effect where it's a shot of the road with all the towers and stuff put on there.
Mm-hmm.
And it just... You can see the towers just kind of vibrate a little bit.
Yeah, it clearly wasn't actually there and was added on the film in editing. And it looked bad.
And then the next scene was more towers that were, I think, real, I think.
Yeah.
But then again, those could have just been models, so...
I don't know. A lot of toys used in this. I mean, it's going to be the case for all of them, but like...
A lot of obvious toys.
Yeah.
Like the helicopter at the beginning.
And the train, I don't know what I expected. There was that car that flipped. Oh boy.
Yeah, the one that went flying through a building.
Oh, that's fantastic. The one that, like, it steered into a building and they had to cut to a point where it was inside the building because the toy car wouldn't have done that. So,
yeah, no, that part was great.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Yeah, no, just... I appreciate that I got an answer, because I was like, how the fuck is Sarazawa going to kill himself with the oxygen destroyer if he's completely covered in a diving suit? And then he pulled out a knife, and I went, well, alright, you got me. His oxygen destroyer instantly turns things into skeletons through the most absurd pseudoscience I've ever heard.
Yeah, it just liquefies anything.
It's like, it separates the oxygen and turns it into a liquid. And I'm like, that's not how that works. Water is one of the most plentiful liquids, and oxygen is a part of it. If you were to separate the oxygen out of dihydrogen monoxide, you would just have hydrogen.
Yeah, you know.
Which I guess is what the bubbles are, but I thought maybe it was the oxygen that was dissolved into the water, because fish breathe oxygen. They don't breathe the oxygen that's a part of water, they breathe the oxygen that's in the water.
Sure.
That's...
you probably know more about it than I do.
That's what I've been told. So I assume that's what it's doing, and it's separating the two oxygens? I don't fucking know. But it somehow liquefies organic things and makes Godzilla crappily fade into a skeleton.
Does he fade into a skeleton, or is it just like...
Oh, it fades.
Here's Godzilla, skeleton.
No. It faded from the rubber suit. The skeleton was then slightly off from the rubber suit, which was fantastic. And then for some reason, the skeleton disappeared.
Ghost skeleton.
I don't fucking know. But, yeah.
But the fish skeletons, those were just...
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was no fade. There was just...
Instantaneous.
Just boom, skeletons.
Yep. Good times. Alright, well, I guess we'll go through each thing and, the 4 things. So, each movie can have a total of 40 base points, plus or minus whatever we decide to throw into the bonus. So, Monster Combat. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't all that engaging.
Yeah, there was some shots of Godzilla doing a thing, but they were mostly, like, static shots. Like, it was... Godzilla turns his head, and steam comes out.
And then, like, the only good shot that I really like, that I remember, that stuck with me even from the first time I saw it, was the melting of the towers. That's a really cool effect that I was impressed that they even did, which was probably done with a blowtorch, but
Probably.
But it still looked cool, and it was cool to see that, because every other time the atomic breath happened, it felt like it got less powerful.
I mean, there was that scene where, Godzilla just shoots people with it,
And
then they all fall over.
It's like, you clearly had the ability to replace things with skeletons. Why didn't you do that with the people?
Well, reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mostly just Godzilla kind of trotting around, and occasionally he would turn his head and blow his breath.
Yeah.
So,
I'd give it like a 2.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. Alright. 2 it is.
Oh boy, it's already off to a good note.
No, it'll get better. Because we have the visual effects, which I don't know if we want to go ironic or serious with this one. I will say the suit worked sometimes. I really like the after effect of like when he charges the breath, like that looked decent.
Oh,
when the spines would glow.
Yeah.
The steam though was kind of lame.
Well, once we get to the colorized era, it'll be blue steam.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's still steam. I know it's still steam, which is really dumb. But yeah, the toy models were somewhat distracting. I mean, it's hard to not notice it. Like I noticed at the first point where like the typhoon came in and like the Shinto arches I could see were just toys as they wiggled, and I'm like, oh boy.
I think some of the models were really well done, like the house models and stuff.
Oh yeah, they look.
Because you had made a comment that they did a really good job making it look like if it were a real building, that's how it would collapse.
Yeah, like once we got to the stone buildings, I felt like it got a lot more believable how it broke, which is probably a factor of the material they use. Because, like, there was something about the resilience of some of the wooden houses that was just, like, too much.
Yeah.
Like, the tail went into, like, it kind of went into it, but it wouldn't, like, crush it properly. Or wouldn't break properly. So, yeah. I mean,
I'd say, given the time period, probably a 5 is fine. Because, I mean, they weren't
higher.
It's like, they weren't bad special effects for the most part, but they weren't, like, high quality either, because the toys were fairly obvious.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking putting it like a 6 or a 7. Because
I'd be fine meeting in the middle with 6.
Okay. Alright, the plot, I will say, because I've seen bits and pieces of some of these movies, that this is probably the most high-class plot we're ever going to get.
I mean, it's one of the more believable ones.
Yeah, but I would also say, like, as far as what I have here, the fucking, God, what is this era called?
Showa.
The Showa era, 54 is top tier plot, because it's the only one that I feel like you can really take seriously.
Yeah.
On some level.
I mean, it's definitely the most serious of the Showa era to my slight knowledge of it, because I've seen tidbits of most of them, and a lot of them just evolve into monster fighting and getting goofy.
Yeah. I was thinking an 8, because it's not, considering other ones I've seen, I feel like they might rate a bit higher, but I feel like it's pretty good.
I was thinking, 7 or 8.
Okay. I'll bring it to a 7. That'll work. The acting, man, it was hit or miss.
Yeah.
It felt like the older people did a better job acting. And the main lady was, like, bad.
Yeah, there were a few times I expected her to start laughing, because, like, it looked like when she was crying, she was actually, like, smiling.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Ogata was fine. Serizawa was a little too dramatic.
Yeah.
But like anyone older than like 40 was good.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the bit roles were pretty good. They were believable.
Yeah.
But then again, that's because they were bit roles and you couldn't really...
It's harder to
like,
screw them up.
Yeah. Like, oh, they're there for a scene, okay. And then they're gone.
Yeah.
On average, yeah, I'd say it was decent, but not like a master class of acting. So probably like a 6?
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.
All right. Somewhere in there.
So we're looking at 21 out of 40.
Honestly, that's not bad.
No, it's not, considering where we're likely to go. Special mention has to go to that fucking ship. Can we throw some points this thing's made for that ship?
I'll throw some points for it.
I'll give it an extra 3 for the fucking exploding ship, because that was just... It happened so suddenly, and it just stayed as like a persistent joke for us the whole way through.
Yeah.
Every time a ship would come up, like, it's gonna blow up. Especially that one that got way too close to the oxygen destroyer.
Yeah. I feel like that one should have blown up.
Probably.
I feel like all the ships should have blown up, honestly.
That would have been nice. When you dropped the bridge, the waves hit it.
like even the fisherman boats, those should have blown up too.
Oh yeah, totally.
Just out of nowhere, just boom, fire.
Oh lord. Alright, so with bonus, because I don't feel like... I mean, there were plenty of jokes that we made as we were watching it, but to the movie's credit, the ship blowing up was a blast. So that puts it with special mention at 24. So, yeah, that's...
I mean, I would expect the probably the first, the first one to be, average at best.
Yeah, I guess.
Because, I mean, they're only gonna... Well, once we got out of the show era, they're only gonna get better, I think.
Yeah.
It's a weird decline with the show era, and then the Heisei era is like, no, make them better.
Yeah.
Stop making them funny and make them, like, action movies or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much stop making them for kids. And then we get the one that was written by a spy fiction person.
Yeah.
Fucking Biollante. I'm gonna resurrect my dead daughter? Was that what it was?
I think so.
Yeah.
It'll be a while before we get to that one.
Oh lord, it will be. But yeah, so Godzilla 1954, better than average. I would definitely agree with that. It was a good time, surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to watch it again by myself. I'd watch it again with somebody else who's interested in it.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think I'd watch it, like come home from work one day and say, you know what's a good movie to watch right now? Godzilla 1954.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reason why I watched it was because, like, it's such a piece of cinematic history. I was like, I need to know. And I did have a good time watching it, but man, it is way funnier than I give it credit for. So, alright, well, wow, this is going to be a short-ass podcast.
I mean, it's already longer than most of the Zelda casts.
Fair enough.
So,
but yeah, thank you whoever decides to actually listen to this. There might be at least one person I know.
Is it you?
Well, yeah, but other than me, who might give this a listen. But yeah, so join us next week when we watch Godzilla Raids again, and we finally get monster on monster combat.
Oh boy.
I'm excited.
Can't wait to see the first monster brawl.
Oh boy. I mean, probably isn't the first, but...
Okay, the first Godzilla monster brawl.
Yeah. See you.
See you guys later.